All right, sports debaters with Reason July. We got a couple of special guests on the sports debater show. We got Brandon Richard, our first interview on the show. We got Brandon Wilkinson, who was just on the show last week. You know, one of my favorite debates I had so far. And we got our new guest, Brent Broussard. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm good, man. We good with everybody.
All right, now
Hey
Brent, a
man,
new guest.
welcome.
Brett, he was in sports talk with us. He was in Man Cave, now he in sports debaters with us, so he pretty familiar with everything about everything what's going on. Uh, Co-host Weezy, shout out to Weezy, man. What's up? Nice,
Absolutely, man.
nice background you got going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to mess with the special effects over here, man. We trying to get it.
All right. Hey, well, we're gonna jump right into it. I want to ask all three of these guys about the most anticipated game of the weekend so far. Lakers versus Clippers. Lakers with a 2-point win. LeBron with the game-winning shot at the end. Game stopping on Kawhi and Paul George, which is very impressive. But I want to hear from you, Wilt. I want to hear from you first about the game.
All right, so my take on the game, man, it was the first game coming back. Uh, I don't put too much into it. It's just one game. But what I will like to call out is that I like what I saw as far as LeBron being aggressive defensively when matched up one-on-one with Kawhi. Because oftentimes when you get in that situation, man, LeBron would defer to his teammates to allow them to pick up that guy, man. But I was excited to see that. I think the game kind of went as expected. I don't think a lot of people went into that game thinking that the Clippers would win that game with missing Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell, and then they trying to integrate Joakim Noah and old boy who came from Detroit, that point guard, Reggie Jackson. So I mean, they got a lot of moving parts going on, but so do the Lakers. You know what I mean? I know Deion Waiters just popped in, J.R. Smith. You lost Avery Bradley and Rondo. Like I said, I don't put too much into that game, man. I think both coaches were trying to figure out rotations throughout that game to see what they're gonna do going forward. But I was excited to see LeBron really committed to defense. To me, that was the biggest takeaway, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was LeBron committing on defense. That was it was very surprising to me because he really did his thing. His offense might have suffered a little bit, but they didn't really need his scoring abilities because of Anthony Davis. So I'm with you on that point. So that was the game for him to lock down, which he did. So shout out to LeBron, but shout out to Anthony Davis too. Hell of a game. But what about you, Richard? What you thought about the game?
I felt like it was two teams kind of filling each other out. First game back, just being off that long and under new circumstances, playing in the bubble. And I mean, you got to expect some type of rust from some players. Even though they had a little bit of time, it's just being off that long while and coming back and jumping into a game. It kind of felt like they was kind of filling each other out. I agree as far as LeBron. The biggest take was him, putting more emphasis on the defensive end. I think he showed. I think the first game being back, he wanted to show what his mindset was going to be come playoff time, as far as doing all the other things. AD can do the scoring, which he showed. So I think it allows Brian to kind of pick his spots. I got to be a defensive player. I got to be a playmaker. All of his games, when you need Brian to score 30, he'll come and score 30. So I think it was more, type of game where he can say, AD gonna do the scoring. What can I do? Because with you had Rondo out, you had Bradley out, and you're trying to mix in Waiters, you're trying to mix in J.R. Smith, and both those guys wild cards. So you're trying to mix in two wild cards into a system, and it's difficult on chemistry when you're trying to mix in those wild cards just off the jump like that. Now with the Clippers, they're gonna be fine. You know, they was missing Lou Will, they was missing Hal. I mean, when those guys come back, they're gonna start fine. Playoff time, they're gonna be firing all cylinders. I just think it's gonna be a good series if those two was to meet, which I think they will. But I think it's gonna be a hell of a series when those two meet up.
I got a question for you because I'm looking at the box score right now for the Lakers Clippers game, and I'm seeing that Kawhi, he had a really good game throughout the first 3 quarters, but he had a really weak fourth quarter. But then when I look at LeBron, it looked like he was kind of rusty almost the whole game, but then he had a strong fourth quarter outside of the three quarters. So who wants to answer that question? Anybody can kind of speak up, but what do you think about that? Like, what do you take away from? Do you think that's just also just attributed to rust from starting up, or do you think that LeBron got kind of locked in and kind of got Kawhi off his game to make him struggle on that fourth?
Well, I think it's something. I think it's something that shows the opposite of what these two teams are facing. I think as far as Kawhi, it's people question who was going to be the closer for the Clippers. Because you got Paul George, who got hot. Lou Will's going to come back. He can get hot. Mm-hmm. So with them, it's going to be a question of who's going to be the closer on that team. And I think that's kind of what you saw a little bit in that game because Paul George hit some big shots. So then Kawhi kind of leaned back and was like, you know, well, hell, Paul got it going. I'm going to let him go, you know. So as far as the Lakers, I think LeBron mindset is I'm going to close it out. You know, AD can do it for 3 quarters. I'm going to close it out in the fourth. And I think that's the mindset he had coming in was like, you know, AD going to make sure we keep us close. I'm going to do what I can to close games out.
Okay. What about you, Brett? What you think, Brett?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna just piggyback off of what my man BRich was saying, bro. Like, really and truly, if you go back and watch the entire game, you can tell LeBron took a back seat and let AD run the floor more than what he usually does. So, like, to me, it really looked like he wasn't shaking off in the runs. It was more or less him allowing AD to lead and allowing other players to step up. But he also stepped up a lot on the defense on the floor, too, especially late in the fourth quarter when he locked up both PG and Kawhi. And, you know, we all know how the game went after that.
Oh, yeah, I wanna touch on the Clipper side right quick. Marcus Morris, 0 points, 3 rebounds. Joakim Noah, 1.4 rebounds. Zubac, whatever, 2 points, 3 rebounds. That's what reached out. That's what stuck out to me. I'm thinking I'm just go ahead and say it. My most 6th man of the year, Montrezl Harrell. I'm just go ahead and say that right now. I think if that would have been him getting those minutes, I think Clippers would win that game. I'm not even including Lou Williams. I'm just including him because those numbers from those 3 players, it's not gonna get it done.
But can those numbers be a testament because they look like struggle numbers, you know? So could those numbers be a testament to AD in a way, and can Harrell affect AD?
Well, I can tell you this: those numbers, Harrell gonna put up better numbers than those. I mean, and then who was? I think Marcus Morris was trying to guard AD during the game. I mean, nobody could guard AD. Maybe Giannis could hold him to 20 points, maybe, but you got to balance it out. To me, if you're going to let AD score 34 points, you can have 3 points and 10 rebounds from those 3 big men.
From the counterpart. So you think that no matter what you're doing, it's an upgrade? I mean, as long as you're getting Harrell, it's an upgrade from Noah.
That's what I think.
Does anybody, what about you, Wilk? What do you think about as far as it seemed like LeBron kind of was slow the first 3 quarters, but Kawhi seems slow the fourth quarter, and LeBron kind of picked up pace. What do you think about that?
I think some of that can be attributed to some of these guys really trying to still get their legs under them. You talking about a layoff and then coming in and playing hard at the top level. You know what I mean? It's hard to sustain that for 4 consecutive quarters, man. But I do want to not take away credit from LeBron's defensive efforts, though. You know what I mean? So, I can attribute some of it to Kawhi losing legs down the stretch, man. But LeBron was there, man. Like, he really was there, bodying him up, trying to, force Kawhi to go to a secondary move. And it just wasn't working, But just to kind of piggyback off some of the AD stuff, man. Montrezl Harrell is also my pick for 6 man. I do think he has a big impact on the game. It's effort. You can't teach effort. So no matter what, he's coming out there, balls to the wall, man, giving it his all. I mean, just off effort alone, you can get 5 to 6 rebounds, man. Then you talking about the strength that this man has. So can he stop AD? No, but I mean, you can make him work harder. You know what I mean? And by making him work harder, there's less he can do on the offensive end. But I don't know, man. The Lakers looking pretty good. The Clippers also. I don't think they meet in the Western Conference Final though. That's just me. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
We're gonna say that topic for next week. We're gonna say that topic for next week.
he jumped right ahead into the playoffs, man. Why you trying to burst the bubble, man? We still in the bubble. We need to keep it rocking.
Anticipation, baby.
Hey, but since we moved, go ahead.
I was just gonna say at the very end of the game, it seemed like, the game was in the balance. That's the part of the game that I actually caught was that Paul George did look like he was in the mode of closer for this game because he got to take all the big shots, and Kawhi was kind of on chill mode. Even when Kawhi got the ball, he was looking to pass the ball. So it seemed like Paul George was kind of hot, like he had the hot hand, and he was like not hesitating as far as taking 3-point shots. So he hit a really big 3 when it was 98 one-on-one, and that tied the game 1-on-1. But when they came back down for LeBron, he just followed up his own shot, and that's all she wrote. But that's all I kind of wanted to say was at the end of the game, do you think that was a mistake on Kawhi's part?
No, I don't necessarily think it's a mistake because you got a guy in Paul George that can hit big shots, and he had it gone. So I think, it's finding that balance when you got another guy that can get going. I think Kawhi's looking at it like, I got to get out of this way. He got it going right now. And I think that's part of what they got to figure out because like I said, we talked about Lou Will not being there. Lou Will could have got hot. You know what I'm saying? It's like so. Situations like that, I think guys, especially unselfish guys like Kawhi, they tend to just keep going with the guy that got the hot hand. And,
right.
And you win or lose, you can live with it because, it's a guy you trust. You wanted Paul George over there. So, obviously he trusts him. And if he got the hot hand going, he can live with the result knowing that he put the ball in somebody's hands that he trusts. Now, some
Absolutely.
games is going to be him. Some games is going to be Kawhi. I think they just got that understanding.
One thing I noticed, that's definitely a great answer. It's very introspective. And one thing I noticed was that at the end, whenever Kawhi kind of made the face and passed to Paul George, and he saw Paul George was trying to dribble and get open, Kawhi actually popped out to the top left corner of the arc, of the 3-point arc, and was clapping his hands like trying to get the ball back. And then after Paul George shot it and he missed, that's the first time I ever seen Kawhi actually look disappointed. Like he threw his hands up, kind of clapped his hand, like kind of looked at Paul George like he was angry, and I was like, wow, okay, like there might be a little saltiness right there. So I didn't know.
Well, once LeBron jumped out on Paul George, I think Kawhi saw something.
Yeah, he wanted the ball back. Yeah,
he saw something right away because LeBron he jumped past him to get to Paul George. So Kawhi give it right back. He probably had a wide open drive.
Exactly. So it was only 2 seconds.
LeBron switched on him. He probably had an open shot on.
I think that's what it was.
He probably, as he caught the ball, he was in goal mode. So that's just one of those situations. Like I said, you got to work out.
Yeah, it's a split-second decision. But go ahead, July.
Yeah, but just to wrap up, that was a real good game. We had a couple of good games. Shout out to my dog Mello, showed up. But anyway, Since me and Wilk already gave y'all six man of the year, I'm gonna start off with you, Brent. Who is your six man of the year? Who you got as six man of the year?
Oh, for my six man, I got to go with y'all, bro. I'm really sold on Harrell getting that, man. Like, really, to me, he really kind of reminds me of a young Dennis Rodman. He'll get in there, he'll get in the paint, do the dirty work that you need him to do. He'll get those 5 or 6 rebounds that you really need in the moment of the game. So I really put him as a six man.
All right, who you got? Bill BRich.
Man, I gotta go with y'all, man. I was hoping y'all was gonna say something different so we could argue a little bit more. Nah, but I agree, man. I think Lou Will is right there in the race with him. But I think Harold makes the bigger difference out of the two. I think once he gets on the floor, once Harold gets on the floor, you don't see any drop off. He keep whatever the starters get going, he keeps it. He keeps that level up there, and you can see a lot of guys feed off of him. And he's kind of that force. Lou Will can go crazy and give you 40, 50, but Harold has been like a more consistent. So I'd have to go with Harold.
All right, that's what's up. What about you, Reezy? Who you got?
Man, I do got a curveball for you boys, man, and it's not gonna be Lou Will either. I think it's gonna be Dennis Schroeder. One big reason is that this dude puts up starting numbers from the bench. That's crazy. But at the same time, there's no reason why OKC is relevant. Like, they should not be good. They should be trying to get lottery picks. You know what I'm saying? They traded people out. They just lost Paul George. It looked like a rebuilding year. It looked like rebuilding. It looked like they was going to just trade old man CP3 on out of there, let him get an opportunity to go somewhere else. But it seemed like things kind of switched. And it does seem like outside of CP3 and Steven Adams, I really think that Schroeder's taking a leadership position. When you watch the way they play, you watch the way he's communicating with his players on the bench. He's always congratulating people. If Shea Gilchrist Alexander makes a mistake or something, here comes Schroeder trying to encourage him, whispering in his ear. I mean, it seems like the players are responding well. Even Schroeder and Adams have like a lot of routines together where it seems like they built a chemistry and they're working well. So I really got to show love to this dude one time because I feel like he probably should be a starting point guard somewhere. But the fact that he's in OKC, kind of doing what they do in San Antonio, where everybody kind of bites their own ego. You know what I'm saying? Like in San Antonio, it was the same thing where Duncan, Ginobili, it don't matter who it is, Kawhi, Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, nobody was like me. And I'm seeing that a lot with Chris Paul, Steven Adams, Shea Gilchrist Alexander, and then now Schroeder. That's like a 4-man little rotation of veteran knowledge. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and go with Schroeder, but Harold will probably be my second vote.
All right, that's what's up. So I'm gonna move on to I think will be a unanimous decision. Rookie of the year. I got Ja Morant. I mean, Zion, he didn't play enough games. If he probably would have played enough games, I think he would have got it, but he didn't. So I'm gonna roll with Ja Morant for Rookie of the Year. Who y'all got? Starting with you, Will.
Oh man, I'm going Ja Morant. That's easy money right there.
Yeah, it might not be much to talk about on this one, man. Like, I'm Ja Morant too. I really ain't gotta even explain nothing on that one.
All right, what about you, Brandon, Richard?
I gotta go with Ja, man. I think it's I think you have to. Kid comes in as a rookie, starting point guard, one of the leaders on the team, and has him fighting for playoff position. And he's shown he's gonna be a superstar for years to come. I think you got a good point. It's basically, it was gonna be a race between him and Zion, with Zion missing so many games. I think you have to go with you got to go with Morant. I mean, people that just want to argue, maybe you could throw Nunn in there from Miami. He had a great year, but as far as winning the award, You'd have to give it to Morant.
All right, what about you, Brent? Who you got?
Easy money, man. It's going to job, bro. Like this kid really came in, like really took over the team almost. If you really look at it. And really and truly, if Zion would have been healthy enough to start the year, it would have been almost an even race between the two. But of course, with Zion missing so many games, that just laid the floor out to try to go ahead and take the lead. So it's easily gonna go to him.
Man, I'm gonna actually say this. I think if Zion played the whole season, it's a wrap. Zion's getting rookie of the year. Period. Like the media loves him. I don't care the NBA, the way it's set up. I feel like monetarily, there's more economic value in putting all your eggs in the basket with Zion. And the media would have did it. Not that John Morant wouldn't have still earned his candidacy. He would have, but I don't think if there's a whole year, there's no way Zion loses rookie of the year.
No, I agree with you, and I think with Zion, it's a LeBron situation. Just to piss Kenny off right quick, I mean, it was LeBron and Melo their rookie year, right? And you could argue, hell, Melo should have won it. At least they should have been co-rookie of the year, and I think that you would run into the same type of situation with Zion and Ja. Ja would have an argument, but Zion is the future face of the league, so you got to give it to Zion. If he played a whole season, just to have that on his resume, if that's the guy you want to sell for the future.
That's what's up. Well, I'm gonna move into a more interesting topic. Interesting award? I'm gonna go with Coach of the Year. My Coach of the Year, I'm gonna go with Eric Spoelstra. Reason being, he never got the credit. He never got the credit that was due to him, especially his I think it was the second 2 years in Miami, his second and third year coaching LeBron.
Right.
I mean, LeBron, he didn't even want Eric Spoelstra. Matter of fact, he wanted him out of there. It was D Wade. It was D Wade that told LeBron, "Hey man, you don't want Pat Riley to come coaches, man. There's gonna be some hard practices. You don't want that."
Right.
And Eric Spoelstra stayed the coach, won 2 titles. LeBron left. Chris Bosh had what was that Chris Bosh had?
What are you talking about?
What Chris Bosh got injured.
Oh, he had a heart condition.
Blood clot. Oh,
blood clot.
Heart condition.
They missed the playoffs, but then they came back the next year, and they went to the second round. And now we fast forward back to this year. They got a new leader, Jimmy Butler.
Right.
They 4th seed in the West? 4th seed in the East.
Yeah, and there's some giant killers. They're giant killers.
Yeah, they the only team to beat the Milwaukee Bucks twice this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll with Eric Spoelstra. I just think it's time for him to finally get his due as a real good coach. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Brent. Who you got for Coach of the Year?
Well, my Coach of the Year, I got to give it to my man Nick Nurse, bro. To lose somebody like Kawhi and to still lead your team as a defending champion to, what's eventually going to be another playoff run for him, you got to give it to him. I mean, he really is a good coach, just in the second year and, really make the playoff run again in the East. Like, you can't go wrong with that. I do agree with you, July. Like, I got to give it to Eric Spoelstra. He does need to do, because I don't think he really got it, from the time that he had LeBron, D. Wade, and Bosh, and those championship teams. So he can definitely, in that conversation. Sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. He didn't get as much credit as he deserved, but man, I never. When you first said Spoelstra, I was thinking like that's a weak argument. Like I wasn't even like. But when the more you kept talking, I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense because it did come full circle to the point that they had a freaking super team. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to be real about it, then they rebuilt, lost everybody, and then now look at them now. So they did come full circle in a very fast turnaround. So that is actually really amazing. But let's go ahead with you, Will. What do you think, man? Coach of the Year.
All right, so I heard the Heat and I heard the Raptors. when we discussed the All NBA teams and all that stuff, Pascal Siakam landed on a few All NBA teams, by our predictions or whatever. Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler landed on some of these teams. But my coach of the year doesn't coach anybody that's landed on any one of these teams. They got the same record as Philly in the East. I'm going with Nate McMillan. Oladipo been hurt all year. These people got the 5th seed in the East. So I'm like, why this man getting slept on as a coach, man? Like, I mean, I don't even know who you would call their best player right now. Sabonis? Is Sabonis their best player? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think Nate McMillan, his name is not thrown out there enough as far as, a pretty good coach, man. But to say you lost Oladipo all year, man, and you position above Philadelphia, who some people say can threaten to win a championship if Embiid's health is, you know what I mean?
If Depot healthy,
Man, look, the people 39 and 26. Man, give Nate McMillan his award, man, because they ain't winning nothing else.
I never even thought about that. And he's a defensive coach. I mean, he was a defensive-minded dude when he was actually a player for the Seattle Sonics. But I never thought about that, man. Actually, Nate McMillan, you're right. Arvydas Sabonis is literally the best player with Depot out. So that's crazy. They're very short staff. I actually went with. I was really close to what Brent was saying. I was really close to saying, let's go Nick Nurse, because just something that he's doing as far as without Kawhi, it seems as if his chemistry is just amazing. The continuity of the players actually really receiving him and listening to what he says. But I had to actually go with Billy Donovan, man. I had to go with Billy Donovan. And the reason why, is it bias? Maybe it is bias. You know what I'm saying?
You're biased. True tonight, Donovan, or you biased.
But at the same time, it's the same thing. Yeah, I'm already 2 for 2. I done did Schroeder and Donovan. But the reason why, man, I mean, look at it. It's the same thing. They should not be good. Like, they should not be no 8. They should not be seeded in the West. And these dudes are actually a dark horse that we're talking about might actually do something. So, I won't hold you. I won't hold you too long. But, I had to go with Donovan on that one.
All right. Who you got, B? You picked yours already?
Yeah, he started.
Nah.
Oh.
Nah, I was chilling, listening to y'all, man. I gotta go with Nick Nurse, man. And I like the McMillan argument, man, and I really agree with Wilk on that one. I think he deserved some consideration for being a great coach, because I don't even know who the hell is on the Pacers team. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, when he said Sabonis was their best player, I was like, hell, I forgot about him. I couldn't even tell you.
He made the All-Star team.
He's good. Yeah, he's a good player, though. He's a good player.
He can play. I just forgot about it. I mean, besides Depot, I have held naming another player. So I think he deserves some consideration. I say give it to Nick Nurse, man, because I just listening to other coaches talk about him. They talk about his adjustments and how all these defensive sets they run, and how a lot of his a lot of things he do, it gives him hell, man. And it's like it makes it hard to prepare for when you gotta prepare for players as well as what the coach is going to do. You got teams you go against, you just preparing for the talent, but when you got to prepare for the talent, as get deeper in, because the coach can hit you with so many different things. Mm-hmm. I think it puts a strain on a lot of teams. So I'd have to go with Nick Nurse, man.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Sure in the hell not nobody from OKC, man.
See,
Chris Paul gonna be easy MVP for the year. Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Hey man, we doing State Farm commercials too in between the show, baby.
All right. So we're gonna move on to Defensive Player of the Year, which I think is a 2-man race between Giannis and AD.
I agree.
If you want to go numbers, I think it's easily AD if you go numbers. But if you want to go, I say full defensive impact. My pick, I would pick Giannis to win MVP. Best defense in the league, Milwaukee.
Right.
It is probably more of a team defensive thing, but I think he leads that team defense. So my defensive MVP of the year is Giannis. Who you got, Will?
Man, look, I'm going Anthony Davis. My
Man.
defensive player of the year is Anthony Davis, man. And I'm talking about nothing on Giannis, man, but the numbers back, AD. You kind of alluded to that, but also, man, if you watching AD, he defends the pick and roll so well, dog. Like he has great feet, man. Like getting in position, and not only does he have the numbers, but he also has great defensive positioning, help defense. All you name it, he has it, man. I think he is really the reason why the Lakers defense is where it is. The way he can protect the paint, the way he can switch on to guards and handle his business and do what he needs to do. I think AD's defense is I wouldn't say heavily slept on, but man, I don't see how you can not give it to him at this point.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you giving AD credit for motivating LeBron? Because last year we saw that LeBron was not going to play. I mean, he stopped playing defense about 4 or 5 years ago. But will you give AD credit as far as it seems like LeBron has a whole new motor right now defensively?
No, I wouldn't say he is motivating him. What I will say is he gives him the ability not to take on so much offensively, so he can exert more effort defensively. That's what I would say. As far as that with LeBron playing defense this year.
Okay.
All right, who you got, Brent?
Yeah, I gotta go with y'all, man. I gotta go AD on this one too, bro. Like just his defensive floor spacing, kind of gives that, nod to him, along with, his numbers and everything else that he does. And like B-Roy was just saying, man, he really does take kind of the pressure off of LeBron offensively to where he can open up defensively and give more of a defensive effort. So yeah, definitely AD, should get that nod. He could have got it a couple of years ago, actually. You know what I'm saying? But that's definitely my pick for this year.
All right. Who you got, Brandon?
I gotta go with Giannis, man. I think, like you said, I think it's a 2-man race between Giannis and AD. I don't think you can go wrong either way. But I'd have to go with Giannis because I feel like Giannis is more of a lead on defense. They play a great team defense, but I think it starts with Giannis. His ability to switch, his ability to just take whoever from, guarding the 1 through the 5. And he can, he can mobilize your best player, And I think for the Lakers, even though AD does a great job, I think you have those games where LeBron say, "I'm taking the best player," and it goes to what Reese said. LeBron is putting more effort in defense this year. I think some of it is because AD is there because he want, when you bring another player on, you want to give them the best chance to win. And I think
exactly, yeah.
And I think that is giving Brian a reason to say, I'm gonna play more defense.
Yeah.
Possessions where, last game when he guarded Kawhi and Paul George on the Bucks, Giannis is that guy. Giannis is that guy to say, I'm gonna take the best player. And also he's a great knowledge. That's how you end defensive possessions.
Absolutely. And you kind of breaking up, Brandon. You kind of breaking up, brother.
Shut him down. Oh.
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit.
But basically, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you good now. It sounds better now.
Basically, Giannis is that guy that can guard your best player on the wing, then turn around, grab that defensive rebound, and finish. Mm-hmm. So, to me, he's the team leader on defense, so I'd have to go with Giannis.
Yeah, and I agree with you, man. And I think it's actually really tight because I was actually leaning more AD before we got on the phone call today. But just kind of hearing you guys say all your reasoning and everything, I do got to say, Wilk, I do believe that even though Giannis helps LeBron just by default, by process of elimination, AD helps LeBron just by being who he is, it helps LeBron out. I do got to actually go with Brandon, too, as far as saying it seems very apparent that AD is being more vocal, like as far as like in press conferences and things of that nature. talking about trying to get LeBron to play defense. Just saying, hey, look, we know he's older. We know this and that, so I just got to stay in his ear. I just got to, make sure he understands that defense is the key. And we are seeing that effort from LeBron. So I think that just the fact that if Giannis wins the Defensive Player of the Year, by default, that's going to be a testament to LeBron's defense, because LeBron's good defense kind of took away from the shine of AD's elite defense. There's no question. Like, if AD won Defensive of the Year, I would have no problem with it at all. But I would vote Giannis Defensive Player of the Year as a testament to how well LeBron has played a contributing defense on the Lakers.
Okay.
Yo, I'm gonna say this right quick. I think AD, I'd be fine if he won the award, but I think the defense LeBron is playing this year kind of cancels him out the way AD kind of cancels out LeBron for MVP.
Nice.
In some people's argument.
Nice closing point, even though that's my argument, but anyway. We're gonna move into what I think is the most interesting award, most improved player. Mm-hmm. To me, I got three people that you could argue for: Brandon Ingram, Luka, and Siakam. Luka, number wise, Luka will win it, but I'm gonna go Siakam to win it again from last year. First, 2 years ago, going from a role player to last year going to the second to best player to this year going to the best player, and got Toronto in the third seed right now. I just have to go Siakam, raising his numbers from 16 per game to 23 per game. His shooting percentage, of course, went down because he is the number one guy now. But I think he took another step forward from being most improved player to last year to being an all NBA player this year. So I'm going to go with Siakam. Who you got, Brent?
For me, I got to give it to Brandon Ingram, man. To say, coming from the Lakers and getting traded over to the Pelicans, that was kind of a big step for him because, he was really kind of under LeBron's shadow a little bit while he was on the Lakers. And now coming into New Orleans, you can tell he's, not just getting a little bit more confident in himself, but also, being a little bit more confident in his game. You see, his points per game average is going up pretty much every week. Like, the last I looked, he's at 24.2 for his average. So, that's really a testament to not just the kind of player that he is, but he's also was, going on the floor and paying attention and getting other guys involved as well. So I definitely got to give him that nod for sure.
All right. Who you got, Brandon Richard?
Man, I want to say Brandon Ingram, man. I like Brandon Ingram, and I like the way he, I like the way he's playing this year and the way he's improved. But I got to go with Siakam if I'm going to give somebody the award. And I think it's more because Siakam has a bigger role on this team, and he has them looking like a team that can get to the finals. I wouldn't pick them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they was to shock a lot of people and even get there, and I think a lot of it is because Nick Nurse, like I said, who I think deserves Coach of the Year, and as well as Siakam, who stepped into that role of being a guy. And I think with Brandon Ingram, he's had some great games, but he's not necessarily the guy. They kind of do it by committee a lot. I wish Toronto has some guys that can play, but with the Pelicans, it's a little more about committee. When Zion got there, it kind of started being more about Zion, even though Brandon still played great. I just think Siakam was more consistent.
All right. Who you got, Will?
All right, my most improved player of the year, man. I'm going Bam Adebayo, man. Last year, Bam Adebayo was averaging right around 8.9 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 57% from the field. He only started 28 games. This year in 65 games, man, he started all 65. He's putting up 16 points a game, over 10 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game, and his efficiency has not decreased. So he's shooting 56% from the field. and he has Miami poised in position as a top tier team in the Eastern Conference. I'm going Bam Adebayo right here.
Well, man, I like those sleepers you keep coming with, dog.
Yeah, that was a good one,
I
man.
like those sleepers, man. I want to say I was considering Bam for Defensive Player of the Year as well.
Mhm.
So I think he's better to Will's point, man. I think he's having a great year.
Absolutely.
Hey, don't say Steven Adams, Reezy. Please don't say Steven Adams.
Oh man, yeah, man. How you know, man? It was tight. It was tight between Adams and Draymond Green. Now playing. It was real tight. It was two Hall of Famers, baby. Two Hall of Famers now playing. I actually, I'm surprised that I don't have BRich agreeing with me, man, because I'm going to Chicago, man. I'm going with Zach LaVine, bro. And the reason why is a lot of people don't look at this, but if you look at just 2017, 2018, he averaged 16 points, 16.7 points, 3.9 rebounds. Then he jumped up to 23.8 points, 4.6 rebounds, and he got votes actually last year. Only one, but he got one vote for most improved. Siakam won it by a landslide. So, and I actually agree with you guys saying Siakam could win it twice because of his role developing and progressing so much. But one thing I'm seeing out of Zach LaVine is I'm seeing a maturity, especially losing. It's hard to lose and still go hard. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that a lot of people like about Russell Westbrook is that it don't matter what's going on in the game. You're going to get 100% out of him. I'm getting that vibe. I'm getting that feel from Zach LaVine. This dude is starting to sound or act and feel like he believes in himself. Like he believes that he is something bigger than what people project him to be. And I know it's tough to win in Chicago. I still don't know about the coaching. I still don't know about a lot of things where it's just huge question marks. How you gonna get Lauri Markkanen to mesh? How you gonna get that dude to go to like a Dirk-like level? How you gonna get Kobe, the shooter out there? How you gonna get him open and get him? So the whole construct of the actual coaching strategy isn't good. It's not good. But I will say the one bright light right now is Zach LaVine, and it's not just big dunks. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, he's just a big dunker." No, man, I've seen this dude put up 50 points. I've seen this dude shooting threes from Curry range out there, like Steph Curry range, 3-pointers. So the guy is developing his game. He's more than just a great dunker. And I really think that when you look at his numbers, you'll see an incremental, it was incremental improvement, and then it became exponential improvement. So even if he doesn't win, if he lost to Siakam, I feel okay with it. Even the Bam situation, if they had about the same amount of votes, but I would want to at least see this dude get some votes for most improved player.
Okay. Hey, shout out to Zach LaVine, because I've been telling y'all boys, Zach, I don't know if you was in the group yet, but I've been telling them Zach LaVine was better than Andrew Wiggins. I've been telling them that in the group. Boys wasn't listening to me. Now, Andrew Wiggins, he might be on the winning team now next year because he's on Golden State, but I still believe Zach LaVine better. But
yeah, we might have to talk about Zach LaVine versus Booker, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Hey, but we're gonna get into MVP. Brandon kind of alluded to my argument about MVP, why I'm giving it to Giannis, because I know boys like to say I'm a LeBron hater or whatever, blah blah blah, but I have LeBron coming in second because of Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, I mean, Giannis don't, and we seen it the other day. Well, what's his name? Chris Middleton is nowhere near the play of Anthony Davis. Chris Middleton is not close to Anthony Davis, and that's
Facts.
Anthony Davis' second to best player. I mean, that's Giannis' second to best player. I mean, LeBron has a All NBA first team on his team. Anthony Davis will be on the All NBA first team. I mean, and as for comparing LeBron to Giannis, Giannis averages more points, more rebounds. As an assist, LeBron is the league leader in assists, but Giannis still averaging 6 assists per game. His team has a better record. I mean, so I think LeBron will get some first place votes, but I don't think he should. I think Giannis will be MVP easily. LeBron coming in second. Who you got? I want to hear from you first, Will.
Oh man. All right. So look, I agree with everything you said about Giannis, man. I'm a big Giannis fan, but in an effort to promote debates, I'm rolling with LeBron because I think everybody picking Giannis. I'm rolling with LeBron, man. The reason why I'm rolling with LeBron is because I get your argument that Anthony Davis takes away a little bit from LeBron. That's true. I get that. That makes perfect sense. But I mean, you've had throughout the history of the NBA other MVPs who've had all NBA teammates as well. But my case for LeBron, man, is almost the Steve Nash argument, right? When you look at pure raw numbers, you could have gave that MVP to Kobe. You could have gave that MVP to LeBron James that year, but they gave it to Nash because of the positioning of that team. That team, he elevated that team to where they weren't. You know what I mean? He made people around him better. You know what I mean? He controlled the pace of the game, and you can see that. Like LeBron controls the pace of the game, offensively, defensively, whatever. You can't deny. I think we alluded to it last show. Chris Paul's importance, because he puts everyone in the proper spaces, defensively and offensively. LeBron's communication, man, like you can't discredit that. You can't discredit that, man. Like I think that's vitally important. But when you look at Giannis's numbers, man, that's something you see on 2K. Like it's really ridiculous.
Right.
But to say LeBron's in his 17th year, something like that, 35 years old, you know.
Hold on, man. Is that a good reason, brother?
Well, no. I'm not saying I'm not saying that's a reason. I'm just saying
okay, all right.
26, 8, and 11. You know,
That's
shooting
crazy,
almost 50% from the field, and he's
Big
He's the floor general, man. Like he's directing traffic out there. I mean, I just go to the Steve Nash argument, man. That's what I'm looking at, man.
Okay.
Let me respond back. Let me respond to that Steve Nash argument. The Suns had a better record than the Lakers with Kobe and LeBron with the Cavaliers. So that argument, I guess you could use, but you can't use it for this argument because Milwaukee has the best record in the league. So I don't think you could use that argument for this particular argument. But
I mean, in the East, they're in the East, bro.
Oh yeah, they're in the East, but they still got the best record. LeBron won 4 MVPs playing in the East. I know if LeBron could win 4, Giannis could win 2. If you get what I'm saying.
But check this out. When you look at the East, your Finals MVP was from the East last year. He left. He came to the West. Kawhi not out there. You know, so you really don't have no other talent in the East that's even comparable to Giannis. Man, them people running through the East.
I just said Miami is the only team to beat them twice.
Yeah.
I mean, did the Lakers beat them twice, but they played them 4 times.
I feel like Brandon Richard has something to say. You know, like
let him jump in.
Like you have something to say, brother. Like go ahead and tell it, get it off your chest, man.
I'm just being patient. My MVP, man, is the dude that keep ducking because I wouldn't be on if it wasn't for him, man. Shout out to the dude that keep ducking. But
Cooper.
Shout out to Coop.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been on today, man. So shout out to Coop, man. But
bro.
Man, every time my man Wilkes talk, man, I feel like what's the movie Step Brothers, man? Like did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
So many activities.
Yeah, man, because I mean he hit a lot of points that I was gonna bring up. You know, as far as LeBron, I get the Steve Nash argument by the fact that a lot of people say he don't deserve it because AD leading in points and rebounds. Well, Steve Nash won it, but Sean Marion led the team in points and rebounds. But Steve Nash won it because he was the one that just made everything go for him. And that's kind of what LeBron is for the Lakers. He the one that make everything go. Now, AD is great, you know, but at the same time, I do think that AD cancels out LeBron in the way that Giannis doesn't have anybody on that level on his teams, and they still continue to run through a lot of teams. And Giannis is the guy that doesn't farm on both ends, offensively, defensively, does it consistently. And I think without him, I think that they just suck. So
do you think it could hurt LeBron if you think if LeBron won the MVP? Do you think that would actually kind of hurt LeBron as far as like the media and maybe like the non-Bron fans hating and stuff like that? Like,
absolutely.
Like yeah, almost like they would hate the fact that he got the award, basically.
Absolutely, it would be devastating for LeBron if he even won this award.
Make him a villain, basically.
He would never hear the end of it. And so, but I think Giannis deserves it, and I think he should win it. I'm wearing this Bugs hat because I think Giannis should win it. That was my pick, but I think
nice.
I think he's the MVP, no doubt.
All right, Big Brent, we need your feedback, man, as far as the MVP races. I mean, it is almost like nitpicking. You know what I'm saying? Because it's two such elite players. Giannis is doing everything to lead his team, and then we said that LeBron could never do it in the West, but he's in the West. His team is number one in the West. But Giannis, on the other hand, has broken record, like almost breaking historical records for plus minus right now. Like one of the highest plus minus in NBA history. So, Brent, where do you stand as far as the MVP race now?
Man, honestly, bro, I got to give it to Giannis, man. He's really been elevating his game year in and year out and consistently getting better night in and night out, too. Plus, he's a very strong floor presence. He's got a very strong, lead on the floor. He definitely deserves it. Now, don't get me wrong. I do have LeBron, right there neck and neck as of right now, but that could change within the next couple of weeks watching, as these games progress. I really think LeBron can still pull it out based off his own numbers and to make this. But it's definitely Giannis. He got to get it this year.
Okay, yeah, that's a good assessment. Like you said, LeBron is very, very close. If there was no Giannis, he would be the unanimous. But it just seemed to work out that way. So I guess we could. Do you want to go ahead and transition, July, to that third topic?
Yeah. Before we transition, Giannis, LeBron. It's don't get me wrong. LeBron, he should finish second. He will finish second. Like I just said, I just think that having a player like AD, a top. If we want to argue, AD has been a top 5 player this year. I think having that type of player just has to cancel you out. I mean, unless it's overwhelming, unless if LeBron would have did this last year with AD on the team, then I would say, okay, LeBron, he came to the Lakers, he elevated the Lakers to a number 1 seed. But since he didn't, and since it took for AD to come to the team for LA to look like this, I think that AD just kind of cancels LeBron out. LeBron having a great year, I think just Giannis is having a better year. That was my last thought.
I got a question for you though.
What's up?
You don't think LeBron's late season injury last year impacted them not being able to get into the playoffs? They were on a run, man.
Oh yeah, you right. But at the same time, the Rockets was a 10th seed when that happened. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was still feeling, and everybody was still filling it out. And then there was
undecided, right?
There was the 4th seed, but there was 2 games from the 9th seed. So
everybody was bunched together.
So LeBron getting injured did have an impact, but they could have easily been a 9th seed, 2 games away. But I think they would have made the. I think they would have made the playoff.
Yeah, I think they would have made it.
Yeah, I think they would have made the playoff. But speaking of making the playoff, the last topic we're going to talk about is Zion Williamson minutes restriction. This is my opinion about it. If the Pelicans really think that they have a shot to take out the Lakers, if they really think they have a shot to take them out, then why not push to make the playoffs? Why not let Zion play his minutes? I mean, I was going for the Jazz the other night, obviously because Portland. So I was going for the Jazz to beat the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
But when I seen Zion not playing at the end of the game, I'm thinking, why the Pelicans even trying then if you're not going to try to win the game? I mean, because obviously they needed Zion in those last couple of minutes. But for some reason, David Griffin came out with a statement. Zion Williamson starting quarters and not finishing quarters is all part of the Pelicans' plan. So I just want to see how y'all feel about that topic. What the Pelicans should do with Zion Williamson for the rest of the season. I'm gonna start off with you, Brent.
All right, man. I'm gonna say this from a serious fan perspective. I'm not happy with this whole plan that they're trying to do. I do understand that they are concerned about his health and they do want to keep monitoring it as this the remainder of the season progresses. But with this whole plan of keeping them restricted to only 15, maybe 20 minutes, when just before everything shut down for the pandemic, Zion was up to playing 30 minutes, within those last 2 or 3 games. So it's almost like they're kind of regressing his development in a little bit. And like I said,
Right.
I understand what they're doing for him, and I understand that it's going to be something for the long run. But definitely within those last 3 or 4 minutes of the game Thursday night, Zion definitely could have helped them win that game. Like he, definitely could have put up a few more shots and got a couple more points for him, and that easily could have sealed the game. So really and truly, as a fan, and as someone who loves the Pelicans, I really want to see them play him to his full potential, but still kind of monitor what's going on with his health. I like the fact that they did keep conditioning him and was able to get him to lose 20 pounds, which is obviously going to help him out. But you got to up his minutes, because really you kind of study development on the floor and chemistry with the team as a whole. Because even going back to when he first came in January, you can see that it was kind of a little struggle those first couple of games until he really built that chemistry and got it going. With guys like Ti and JJ Redick. I mean, really, Zion and Lonzo was they really a damn good pair. So really, I really feel like they kind of studied his development with everybody on the team.
Well, Brent, I got a question for you, man. Do you think that the criticism of Zion's weight is true? Because we're hearing the rumors that he lost weight, but then every time there's a game, I'm seeing pictures on Facebook, people, angry fans talking about this dude was eating cupcakes and this and that, based on this picture. So do you think there is some truth to maybe his weight isn't as great as maybe there is a conditioning situation?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a conditioning situation with him because, I mean, with the explosiveness that he has, that's what brought his knee injury in the first place. So I think for the Pelicans, what they really want to do is they want to find the right conditioning treatment or the right program that's going to, not hinder him in a sense, but at least, try to keep him as healthy as possible. So that he can make these late runs late in the season to help them win and, obviously get to playoffs like they're trying to do. Definitely right
Okay.
now, I really think, they can stick with that program, but they still need to give them, more time on the floor.
Okay.
All
That's
right,
fair enough.
what you got, Brandon Richard?
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
you good?
yeah. First of all, I'm not buying he lost 20 pounds. I think he might have lost 2 pounds and somebody misplaced the decimal. He damn sure ain't lost 20 pounds.
Right.
Nah.
He looking healthy out there.
Yeah. No, hell no. But I think it's just a situation. I think it's a situation with his conditioning, man. Because I don't, if he's healthy and he's in shape, I don't understand the reason for minute restriction. And if you do want to put him on a minute restriction, why just play him, just in the first part of just in the first part of quarters.
Right.
You know, why can't you play him a few minutes at the beginning, a few minutes at the end, whatever, however you want to space it out, whatever. But I'm not understanding that from their standpoint. I think it's a situation where he's just out of shape, not really ready to go. But you still got
this kid is young though. Does that, like, how do you feel about that as a coach, from a coach perspective? We're talking about a kid that's in his low 20s. I mean, this kid is young, and we talking about he's out of shape.
Well, I mean, it's out of shape, meaning out of NBA basketball.
NBA,
shape.
right.
You know, not out of shape like me. You know, just.
But what do you feel like? What do you feel about like restricting? But what do you feel about restricting a player that's young? Like, honestly, I feel like they could play 2 games. You know what I'm saying? Back to back. You 20, you can play 2 games back to back. I mean, what am I restricting here? Like,
it's got to be. I don't know if there's some type of underlying thing that they're not saying. Only thing I could see is some type of fear of injury, because he is very explosive, and that explosiveness with that weight is bad for the knees, man. So I don't know if they just feel like mail this season in. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I got a tech, dog.
Like you got one of the murder hornets came and got you, dog.
Yeah, man. God damn. But fucking murder hornets out here, man.
We might edit that out. I don't know. Might keep it though.
Oh man, if it's funny, keep it. But you know, as far as minute restriction, man, I don't get it unless it's some type of injury prevention.
Mm-hmm.
They just feel like mail the season in, but we're just gonna throw him out there because people want to see Zion. You know, if it's that type of thing, you know, maybe
okay.
Maybe they're just mailing the season in, but they just want to throw him out there. That's all I could see.
All right.
What you think, Will?
All right, so first of all, man, I don't trust any of these front office executives and what they say, man. So number one, I don't think Zion's healthy. And then it can also be a conditioning issue. I was watching the game, and I kept thinking in my head, you know, prior to the game, dog, I can't wait to see Zion. The dude lost weight. Apparently, it's gonna be awesome, man.
Allegedly, all right.
Man, look, the dude came out. He looked the same. You know what I'm saying? I was confused. I didn't know if it was like my TV or what, but I was confused. So that's the first thing.
The camera added 10 pounds.
Man, added 30.
The camera added 10 pounds, bro.
But so I don't know, man. I think it's something underlying that's going on over there. But I will say, the man is crazy explosive, right? If you think about Derrick Rose, how explosive Derrick Rose was, and the way Derrick Rose used to land, it's almost the same thing with Zion, but Zion outweighs him by what, 40, 50 pounds, you know? So it's pretty ridiculous. I know New Orleans, they're not contenders, man. So it's just like, man, when you go get that new car or you go get that new iPhone or that Droid or whatever, man, you put insurance on it. Man, look, they not trying to risk future returns on Zion right now, man. We're going to put him out there. The NBA probably making them put him out there for 15 minutes. You know,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's really what it is. I guarantee you, like, they probably don't even want to play him. Man, they're just packing in for next year, man.
I believe that.
But I think it's something underlying going on, man. It could be the conditioning because they was putting all that stuff out there, and to me, I was not impressed with what I saw from somebody that they said was working out daily and getting himself in tip-top shape. Wasn't impressed with what I saw. But I really think it's the it's an insurance type thing, man. Like they don't want to risk future returns.
Man, I find that kind of concerning, though. I mean, because I kind of agree with Brent's point prior when he said that, man, as a fan, and you putting them out there, if you're going to put them out there, try to win, period. Like, and especially if you're talking about a playoff spot, you know, very young budding career, because if you could get Zion to clinch that 8th seed and get in the playoffs, that could be valuable experience. Even though you may not beat the Lakers or you may not beat nobody, that's okay. That's still valuable experience for somebody who's a potential elite superstar of this league later on down the line. So it does seem like I might have to agree with both Brandons, that maybe there is an injury and they just not disclosing everything. Because why else would you not try to get your young star? I mean, these kids are like 20, 21, 22 years old. Man, when I was 22 years old, we could run like 9 games. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 9, no problem. The biggest thing we have to do is just maybe like get some water, take a break, and come back. You can play another game. So hopefully he's all right, and hopefully he stays healthy.
Yeah, well, I kind of like that point by Will when he said the NBA probably making them put him out there. I never thought of it like that because the Pelicans they probably wouldn't beat the Lakers. I think they'll scare them though because like a 4-2 scare, not a 4-3, not a 7 game, but like a 6 game. I think they'll actually scare the Lakers, and I think they'll actually give the Lakers the toughest matchup in the first round. Even though I'm hoping Portland gonna get there, I think the Pelicans will actually give the Lakers the toughest matchup in the first round.
Yeah, I actually got a piggyback off of that too, because I mean, going back to the couple of games that they did play against the Lakers, they gave them hell almost, and damn near could have won those games easily. Had Zion played a few more minutes in the last game. But the thing about David Griffin with that statement that he put out, he was also saying that when the team got to the bubble, the entire team was on a minute restriction, and you can kind of see that in the way that some guys played during these scrimmages. Now, also with Zion having to leave and come back, that kind of put it into perspective. Well, he missed the whole program that they had, so we got to put him on the same minute restrictions that we put everybody else on. So I think that's kind of what's also going on with them. But also as a fan, I think something else that they're not fully telling everybody, there could be an injury concern, and it may still be something conditionally too.
And then Richard, I feel like you had a word that you want to get in.
Yeah, to their point, to Kenny and Brent's point about Pelicans would probably give Lakers a scare. Yeah, Pelicans getting swept if they meet the Lakers. So.
Hey, I thought you was about to agree with me. I thought you was about to agree with me.
Yeah, he set it up good too. He's like, you know what? That's a very knowledgeable thing. You know what? They crazy. Hell no.
Yeah, it's they're getting swept. They're getting.
I'm not denying.
They might have that. They might have that one game. They had that one game when they lose by 5. But the rest, is. LeBron and AD will put their foot in the Pelicans' ass.
Hey, cold-blooded, bro.
What I like, why I think Portland could steal a couple of games against the Lakers, because the Lakers don't have them guards that could go at CJ and Dame. They don't have them guards. To beat us, the teams that give us problems is teams that have them guards. The real good guards. Like Houston will sweep us. I promise. But I think we'll win 2 games against the Lakers, though. I think Portland will win 2 games against the Lakers.
I don't see anybody messing with the Lakers, man.
I think Portland got a better shot. Like Kenny said, the guard play, is for Portland is very strong, and I think they will outplay the Lakers. And I think the dark horse would be Melo would pick his game up to another level, knowing that he's facing LeBron. I think you will see Melo play, at a give all out effort.
Yeah,
think, so I think Portland would be a better matchup. They would lose in 5.
Another thing with Portland too, man. Not only do they have a guard play, but Portland one of the few teams that can match up with the Lakers in size. They got some bigs, man. They got some bigs.
Man.
So and that's gonna help them win that one game.
Yeah, killing the game, bro. Hey, you know what, man, Richard, you know what you remind me of, man? You remind me of that NFL ref where the way you set it up, you're like, okay, these guys have some knowledgeable things. They're gonna get swept. It remind me of like the NFL ref that was like real buff. And whenever it'd be like a pass interference, he'd be like, "Man, it's obviously offensive. Like everybody can see it's offensive pass interference." And this dude would be like, "Pass interference on the defense." So like he always like set it up like where you just waiting for the suspense and he'd say the wrong thing.
That's Hockey League, whatever his name is.
Hockey. And he would just
the guns.
Hard. He'd be like, like first down. Like he be. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing what you did, man. You set them up for the okie doke, man. Talking about, they have some good information, and they're gonna get swept, But
I had to do that for Brent, man. Being that he a Pelicans fan.
Man, that's messed up.
It's all good, bro. It's nothing but love between you. You know what it is.
That's what's up, man. Any last word, Reason? Any last words?
Oh man, good episode. I think we had some good picks. Really good information as far as thinking outside of the box, especially Wilk with the Bam out of Bayou and the Nate McMillan. Those are some takes that you're not gonna get on ESPN, man. You're not gonna get that on Undisputed. So you're getting an unorthodox opinion from knowledgeable debaters. If you guys are good sports debaters, hey, jump on, man. Like we got a lot of people talking. Coop, like what's up with Coop? Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Coop is hanging out with Parlay. You know who Parlay is? That dude, that's the dude from that's a comedian that always has a friend, an invisible friend, Parlay. And that's where Coop is at. He's hanging out with Parlay, man, in the project, baby. But
Coop is that dude from Ricky Smiley Morning Show, the one that's always supposed to go to work. But he never showed up.
Oh man! He's Tommy F. Martin. Then that dude never gets the job.
That's cool, man. Ricky Smiley call him every day, asking why he never showed up for work. That's cool, man. Shout out to Coop.
Shout out to Coop, man. Shout out to Coop. Any other debaters, man? If you guys really think that you can hang as far as just giving us some analysis, give us some opinions, maybe some outside of the box perspectives, we would love to have you guys. We'd love to have you on the show.
Oh yeah. Nice to have you on the show, Brent. I mean, real good information you gave. Well, man, I'm gonna have to talk to Mike, man. We might have to get you on a regular basis, bro. you coming with that?
Hey, he just jumped on the episode like Chris Broussard. You see that? Like, he was like, and the special analyst. We were like, damn. Just opened up. Like, damn. Oh, that's what's up, man.
All right, man. But it was nice hollering at y'all, man. The episode was probably posted Sunday or Monday. Whenever Mike do the editing, we probably posted Sunday or Monday, something like that.
Yo, don't forget to shout out Jason Tatum, man.
I didn't want to do it to Jason Tatum with that post, but man, I
was last episode I said he just disappeared for no reason, man. Hey, I gotta say.
That bum Jason Tatum.
That boy went and built a university, man.
You know what? I think he had a false negative, man. I think he had COVID this whole time, bro. When they had a negative test, that dude had the COVID basketball game last night.
Jason Tatum was playing like Jason Bourne. That was for you, Blake.
I don't know what happened to. I don't know what happened to Tatum, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
he forgot they had a game.
Like 5 for 18, something like that. 5 shots out of 18.
Nah, two for 18.
Two for 18.
Two for 18.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum was playing like he went and get some lemon pepper wings the night before.
Oh. right. He was hanging out with
Kenny Smith said he went to get legs and thighs, man. He went to look at legs and thighs.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, Jason Tatum still has some grease on his fingers then.
I don't know, man.
Hey man, I guess they took all the sharpness out of his edge up and they didn't put him in the game, bro. I don't know what happened, man.
I ain't gonna talk too much because we play Boston. We play Boston tomorrow night, I think. Yeah.
So he might have a comeback game.
Yeah.
Larry Bird turning over in his grave.
It is a live grave, right? Yeah. That's hilarious, man. Hey man, do we have any more Boston Celtics roast before we close it out? No.
Nah, man. Shout out to Blake, man. Shout out to Blake Gordon.
Shout out Blake Alonzo.
That was for Blake, man, because he was so happy to see LeBron miss shots the night before. You know, so
Hey, I don't know what's gonna be worse though when if the Celtics lose or if the Nets come back next year and they start whooping the Celtics' ass, then he's gonna have to decide between KD and his allegiance to the Boston. So I don't know how he's gonna feel if the Nets start wrecking the East.
Blake head gonna explode if that happen. He ain't gonna know what to do, man. Shout out to my boy Blake, man.
Yeah, shout out Blake, man.
All right, y'all. Nice talking to y'all.
Yeah,
man.
thank you for spending time, man, for sure.
Good podcast. This is our first time having 3 guests on at a time. It went real good. Easy.
Absolutely. Yeah, hey, thank you guys. My first time meeting Brent as well. So nice meeting you, sir.
Yes, sir, man. It was a good pleasure talking to y'all fellas today, man. I'm looking forward to doing another one.
All right,
absolutely,
man.
Y'all
Brent, that boy Brent looked like he was being interviewed by the FBI.
Hey, man, look. Next time I get on, I'm have my camera right, man.
They got him in the witness protection.
Yeah. Hold on, man. He a witness to a whole murder, and you want to come on here and talk about the NBA?
Hey, man, let me find out Brent knows who Hurricane Chris killed, man. Let me find out, man.
Hey, man,
let me find out you Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Nah, you know I wouldn't do nothing like that, bro.
Hey, there's a meme where they have like a shadow figure, and on the caption it just says "last and hidden." That's Brent.
That man. Brent told y'all, man, hey, don't show my face, show just my forehead.
That's crazy.
Nah, I ain't want to go with that bullshit. All right, so
I thought he was having sound problems, but that's really the voice. It was changing his voice, man.
Yeah. That's why you was sounding like a robot. You come on here talking like the Terminator.
Like Megatron, Autobots unite, baby. Let's go.
Hey, man, so I'm going to get my shit together for the next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, fellas, y'all have yourself a good one, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you all, man. Always a pleasure.
Y'all be good, man.
All right, boy.
All right.